I have to tell you something I have never really said out aloud before. Before I even moved to the UK, before I had even set foot in London, before Imperial, before any of it, I was already worrying about getting a job in the UK. Sitting in India, scrolling LinkedIn at midnight, worrying about UK job visa situation, trying to figure out if this whole thing is going to work out. And the honest answer was, I did not know. I had no idea. What I did know was I was about to move to one of the most expensive cities in the world, take on pressure of an Imperial degree, and somehow navigate a job market in a country that was not mine. Hi, I'm Parul. I moved from India to London for my master's at Imperial College London, and this is the honest story of what UK job market felt like as an international student. The real version, not the LinkedIn one. I think what people don't talk about is how the anxiety starts way before the job hunt starts. When you apply to the UK from India, there's this unspoken calculation happening in the background the entire time. What if I spend this money, do this degree, and then can't even get a job and have to come back? And that thought lived in my head for months before I even got on the plane. There's just a specific kind of pressure that comes with being an Indian student abroad. Your family has invested in this, not just financially, but also emotionally and in ways that go beyond what you can even quantify. The idea of it not working out isn't personal anymore. It feels like letting everyone down. So I arrived in London carrying this weight, already with something to prove, already scared of failing, even before I had even started. If you are watching this from India right now, planning your move, I just want you to know that this feeling is absolutely normal. It doesn't mean that something is about to go wrong. It just means that you care. So I was an Imperial, and everyone around me was ambitious. Everyone had a plan. People in their first semester are already talking about consulting interviews, graduate schemes, internships, like they had it all figured out. I started my job hunt pretty much when the course started. I did not want to wait until the end because I knew graduate route visa had a window and I did not want to be scrambling at the end. So I was doing courseworks, assignments, exams, dissertations, and simultaneously I was researching companies, rewriting my CVs, cover letters, going to career events. That part was exhausting in a way that's hard to explain unless you have done it. You are never fully present in either thing. You are studying but thinking about the job application. You are applying but constantly stressed about the deadlines. Starting early is one of the main reasons why my job hunt didn't drag longer than it did. So if you are in your masters, start early. I would suggest that start before even you are in the country. Connect with people on LinkedIn, research about your industries, the kind of jobs that recruiters are hiring for, what are the skills required. Start building your skill set before you land in the country, before you start making applications. Let me explain the visa situation because I think a lot of people are more scared of it than they need to be. When you graduate, you are on student visa. You need to apply to switch to post study work visa. Currently, it allows you to stay in the country for 2 years and you can work for any employer in the UK without them needing to sponsor you. Important caveat, this is changing. The duration is dropping from 2 years to 18 months for undergrad and master's graduates. So if you are graduating in 26, apply before Jan 27 and you still get the full 2 years. PhD candidates still get the full 3 years period. In terms of the cost, it costs around £880 for the application fee plus the immigration health surcharge, which brings the total to around £2,900 to £3,000, which I understand is a lot of amount, but this is a one-time cost, and the application takes about 8 weeks to come through. And once you have it, you are just another candidate. No employer needs to do anything special for you, no sponsorship required. But here is the thing, before I had it, every interview felt like a minefield. This one interview, within 5 minutes, they asked me, do I require sponsorship? Then I would have to explain them the entire PSW route, how it works, when will I get it, etc. etc. So I would suggest that you apply for this visa as soon as you are eligible. Don't wait because it gives you a confidence and you go to the interviews and they ask you, do you require sponsorship? And you can tell them, no, you don't. And you can start immediately. This is where the story gets real. I graduated and the job hunt officially began. I want to describe what first few weeks into the job hunt feels like because nobody prepares you for this. You spend an hour, rewrite your CV, cover letters, send out an application, and then no reply, no confirmation, no rejection, nothing. You wait a few more days, still nothing. You apply to a few more jobs, still nothing. There's a particular silence to being ghosted that is different from rejection. A rejection acknowledges that you existed, silence does not. I applied to over 100 jobs over my job hunt. Roughly a third of them replied, a handful of interviews, two final rounds, one offer. And I want you to know these numbers because I think people give up at application 20 thinking that something is wrong with them. There's nothing wrong with you. This is just the funnel. This is just how it works. Okay. This is the part I find the hardest to talk about. When I was job hunting, people around me were getting job offers. People from my course, people I knew from back home who had moved to different countries. LinkedIn was a constant stream of excited to announce posts. And I want to be honest, that was really hard. Not because I wasn't happy for them, I was. It's just every announcement was a quiet reminder that I wasn't there yet. There's something specifically painful about it when you have an imperial degree because the degree was supposed to be the hard part. You got in, you survived, you graduated, and now you are seeing people with not the same credentials get job before you. What I had to keep reminding myself, and what I want to tell you if you are in this right now, everyone's timeline is different. Job hunt is not a race. Someone who gets an offer in week 2 is not better than you. They just happen to apply to a right job in the right company in the right time. Your moment is coming, and comparing your chapter 3 with someone else's chapter 8 helps no one. Today, I want to tell you about my lowest point. I had made it to the final round of this interview process for one of my dream companies. Multiple stages of interviews, hours of preparations, and I genuinely thought this was it. I still remember the morning the email came, I opened it, and within few words, I knew. We regret to inform you. That was not what I wanted it to be, that was not what I expected. But well, I had it in front of my eyes. The hours of preparation, the hopes, expectations were just dangling there. And I was not sure what lies next. What do I do? I sat with my phone in my hand, just staring at the email for probably 5-10 minutes. And then I just fell apart a bit. Not dramatically, just quietly. You know, the kind of crying that happens when you're sad, you're disappointed, you are a little bit scared, and you have been trying to hold it all together for weeks. Because it wasn't just a job rejection. It felt like a rejection of the entire plan, the plan I had building since I was in India, the reason why I moved countries, the thing that I was telling people back home I was working towards. What I know now and what I could not see then is that you getting into a final round means you're genuinely competitive. The difference between you and the person who got the job just means probably one answer in one interview. That's it. It's not a verdict on your worth. But at that moment, it did feel like one. I took that afternoon off. I let myself feel it. Next morning, I woke up, opened my laptop, and then moved on. And that's the only advice I have for you guys. Whoever is going through this right now, whoever has this coming, just let yourself feel the failures and move on. Keep going. Because what is meant for you, what is right for you, will find you at the right time. Everyone's timeline is different, and I genuinely cannot emphasize on this enough because I've been there. I know how it feels when you see around you, and if people get their dream jobs before you do, it just feels like a personal failure for some reason, even though there's just no connection with them and your timeline. So please, please, please just keep going. That's all. That is exactly what will land you your job. And you never know, your next application might be the one for you. So, knowing that, will you stop now? About a few weeks into the job hunt, something shifted. I stopped applying to every job vacancy on LinkedIn through Easy Apply and through different career portals. I started being more deliberate with the job applications. I identified the companies I wanted to work for. I researched about them. I reached out to the people who were working there on LinkedIn. I told them that I had applied for this particular role and if they would be open for a quick chat. So, sending messages more specifically and not general coffee chat messages on LinkedIn because, based on my experience, more the specific message you send, higher the chances of people responding to you. So now, being on the other side of the table, when I get messages from people saying that they have applied for a particular position in my company or they want to discuss a specific vacancy in my company, I would be more willing to have a chat with them than just someone sending me a message saying, "Hi, I'm looking for this position in London, because then I don't know if I would be able to add value or not. But in the first case, I know I would be able to provide them with some insights that might help them. So be more specific and less generic. So when I texted people on LinkedIn, some replied, some didn't. But the conversations I had with them felt invaluable, and not just with information, but also they helped me with the confidence. Talking to the real people who were working on the jobs that I wanted made it feel like possible again. I also stopped refreshing emails every hour. I set times, I checked it then and then closed it otherwise. It sounds small, but it changed how it felt day to day. And I kept applying. Tailored CVs, specific cover letters, day one applications, 80% rule. If I met 80% of the job requirement, I applied. I stopped ruling myself out. About a month and a half after I graduated, I got not only one job offer, but actually two job offers from really good companies. Direct application, no referral, no connection in the company, just the right role, day one application with tailored CV and a cover letter that was actually specific. I still remember when I got the call from the HR saying you have been selected and just to discuss the role and few more details. I still remember I could not believe that moment. I was like pinching myself, is this real? Is this real? Am I dreaming? Because I was exactly what was happening. In my dreams, I was getting the rejections, the selections, and I was going through the entire assessment processes in my dreams. That sounds so funny, but I think that was just like a constant thing that was going on in my mind back then. So yeah, when I received the call and the final email, I just like I think read it at least three times before it felt real. Then I negotiated salary. This I'll cover in the tactical video, which I'll upload next in the next week or so. So keep an eye out. Now, don't just accept the first number that you get when you receive an offer. You have more power in that moment than you probably think. The job is in cybersecurity. I'm a business analyst. It's not what I imagined when I was in India Googling at midnight about UK job market. It's better. Not because it's perfect, but because I built it myself in a city that isn't mine, in a system that wasn't designed for me. So that means something. If you are in the middle of the UK job hunt right now, I hope this made you feel less alone. The fear you felt before you even left India, normal. The silence after job applications, absolutely normal. Watching everyone else seem to figure it out faster, the hardest part and not the complete picture. Your timeline is yours, just keep going. Now, if what you actually need right now is the tactical stuff, I will post a detailed video about CV format, cover letter structure, job board, salary negotiation script, LinkedIn outreach template, etc. And so please subscribe so you don't miss out. And if you're watching it after the video has gone live, you can find the link in the description below. And that video will cover everything in detail, step by step, from someone who has actually done it. And come find me on Instagram at Gloss and Gone. I share a lot more honest day to day content there. London life, career stuff, and what it actually looks like to build a life here from scratch. Subscribe if you want more of this and comment below where you are right now in that process. Still in India planning or got an offer, so congratulations on that, or in middle of the job hunt in the UK, do let me know. I read all the comments and reply, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.